The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What's up? Welcome to Cowboys StoryLine. It's Wednesday, March 26th. Feels like it's been forever since I've been on the air. I know it's only been a week, but still, it feels like it's. I can't say a lot has happened, but still, this once a week show stuff is too much for me. I know you guys wish we had shows on a regular basis. We get back to that during the season. I kind of like the break. I know Chris Beam likes the break a little bit, but it is fun to talk to you guys. So we'll get a chance to do that today for an hour and some change before we've got Cowboys break at 11. So we got some time to chat with you guys. We already had a couple of callers on the line. You guys know the drill. 888-855-2297 is the number to call. Let's get started. Let's go right to Brian in Kansas City. Brian, what's up, man? What do you got?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
You know, I was talking to I don't know if you know this. There's other shows on .com. I don't know if you were aware.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I've been on one of them. I've been on all of them probably at some point.
At some point.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you've probably been on every show that there's ever been, right?
I don't know about Girls Talk, Boys Talk. I don't know if I've been invited to that, but for the most part, I think I've been on all of them. But anyways, what's up? What caught your ear on those other shows?
Well, you know, this week I was thinking, you know, after we re-signed Osa and, you know, listening to everything, and there's always some wild cards in the draft, right? There's always, you know, the Raiders always do something off the wall, right, that throws everything, you know, kind of has that domino effect. But what I think, what happens if Mason Graham falls to 12? What do you do if that's the best player on your board, and you just gave Osa and Graham's for people that know maybe don't follow real closely, Graham's a 3-tech from Michigan.
Oh no, Michigan out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding.
No Michigan defensive lineman, right? He can go sit on a beach with Taco somewhere, but you know, what do? You just paid Osa $20 million. Do you and this is not a super strong draft, meaning I don't think there'd be a ton of people knocking on your door saying, "Hey, I want to trade up."
Right.
And maybe if Graham's there, maybe there would be, you know, somebody there. And so I'd be curious for other callers and of course for you, what would you do? You know, Broadus always says we don't window dress our board. If that's the best player on the board, regardless of the fact that you already have a $20 million 3-tech, what do you do? And I'll hang up and listen, brothers. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Good question. You know, it's one of those things. I always look at best available need. I don't look at best available player. I say best available need, and as I'm watching this, I love having the NFL Network on because of this little scroll down here. They have everybody in the world has their own mock draft, and so I just saw where the fourth pick in the draft, was the Patriots. They had Graham, so that would be quite a fall probably for him. I'm not saying that he would go, that these mock drafts are the gospel or anything like that, but he is supposed to go higher than that. So if he falls, what do the Cowboys do? You know, and then so I say best available need. Is that a big need at that point? Now, having defensive tackles that can play in a rotation, that's not something we're used to having too many of. But yeah, I mean, when you did pay for Osa, and then could they play together? Sure, they could, but is that really the style that you want? So I would probably pass, and I would maybe wait for the phone to ring. See if he's a guy that somebody would try to trade up for. So I just feel like there's other needs there. Probably going to get a really good football player in him, but I would probably go another route. I still would go with an offensive lineman. I mean, that's probably if I get asked again today, that would be my pick. I think would be an offensive lineman, a tackle, a guard. We'll see. Whoever's there is somebody that can do both. That's probably where I would lean. All right, let's go to second caller, Randy in Texarkana.
What's up, my friend?
My man, how you doing?
I'm all right. I wanted to call in two-part. I'm going to ask you a question. It's crazy because what I was about to talk about was what you just finished with.
Oh.
But the first half, I want to talk to my fellow storyliners, and I need to let them all know that this year we've got the draft coming up. Let's please stick with the top 1, 2, 3 pick scenarios. Some of them calls last year where they were into trading their neighbors' dogs in the 8th round of 4 years from now and all that kind of stuff. It's too much. You've got a better chance of Jerry Jones turning the team over to you than for your scenario to work. So let's try to keep it somewhat toward the top there to make it fun. And
time out.
You get me?
Time out. I just have a question. Can you trade the neighbor's dog? I mean, is that something you can do? Because, I mean, believe me, there's been some scenarios in my life where I wouldn't mind trading the neighbor's dog. So is that something that's on the table?
Anything is possible, my friend. Oh, hold on. Listen to this.
Good to know.
There you go. I'll give you a horn. I hadn't done that in a while either.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was going to get to, what you were finishing up with, is I was actually going to bring up the offensive line, and I've been all about the wide receiver, running back, linebacker, blah, 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 blah. Last week, I was listening to Hanging with the Boys, and Jesse and Nate brought up a scenario that I couldn't agree with more. And I'm not sure about who's available because I hadn't really got into it very deep, but left tackle. Now, I know we picked one last year and got him, but I don't want to sit here and badmouth the guy, but give him time to grow. But everybody says he's more of a right. Make him a swing tackle, let him grow into his body, let him grow into his knowledge and all that good stuff. Have him more of a right tackle future behind Terrence.
Yep.
And is there a left tackle out there in the draft that would be a much better trade, or not a trade, but a pick at 12? Because if we could do that this year, and we've got all of our young guys in the middle, and then have a number one top guy on the right, I mean, we wouldn't have to sweat our running back as much this year because you build that line this year. Next year, go after a top running back, and now you're set.
I'm with you. I like the offensive tackle at 12. Like better than I liked it at 20. What was it? 27, 28. I can't remember where they even got Guyton because they traded him back. But they traded back. But I mean, I just like the offensive line. Any prospect at 12 over 20, 28. I mean, you're going to like better. But I'm for that. And one of those guys is going to fall. One of those guys that, is projected a little bit higher than that. What if it's the LSU guy, Will Campbell, which a lot of people think maybe he's more of a guard. But I'm looking at our draft magazine that our staff put together. Kyle Yeomans, Tommy Yarish helped put this together. So I'm just looking at the offensive tackles there, and it's hard to see because the number one guy here is Kelvin Banks from Texas, and I've seen him all over the first round. So and some people project him as a guard. Josh Simmons, Ohio State. Some of these guys, the guy from Missouri, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one yet. So anyways, if the guy that they like, the Cowboys like, that's sitting there that they have a grade on that's worthy of the 12th pick, I'd be totally fine with that. Even though you picked Guyton. Guyton hasn't proven that he's ready to be a starter in this league, left or right. When he proves that, great problem to have. Great problem to have. We got all these guys, but right now he hasn't shown that. So maybe that motivates him because he's got some tools. I mean, it's there. He's just got to get it figured out. But I love that scenario. I don't hate that at all because that helps your whole team, your quarterback, your running back, your receivers magically get better when your offensive line is better.
And you look at what everybody says about the Eagles in their Super Bowl win. Oh, their offensive line and their defensive line, which falls right under your caller from up north, always saying he wants Yeah, Lester, that's it. Give him his props. I know he says it every time, and he's right. I mean, he's right.
Yeah.
And remember last year when I called in, I said, throw everything at the line. I mean, until you get those beefed up, all the little fellas out there looking pretty on the sides, they're not going to do as much.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. All right, brother. I'll let you get to the next one. All
Randy,
right,
good stuff. Appreciate it. I just that would be a scenario that I would like. Now, if the running, if Jency's there at 12, and that would be a fun pick. And I think that would be worthy of it. I'm not so sold on the receiver, but let's see what happens here between now and the draft. I think if they do anything else in free agency, I would think it'd be a receiver. So let's just see if there's anything else in the works there, and I don't know that specifically, but I would think the Cowboys would probably have that position a little bit more shored up going into the draft. That doesn't mean you don't draft a guy at 12, because whoever you're bringing in doesn't mean he's going to be here for a long, long time. But I still think there's some more moves out there. I think backup quarterback's another one that I think the Cowboys are still, obviously gonna address here at some point. All right. Oh, my man, Joe in Stanford is on the line. Joe, it's been a while. What's up?
Hey, brother. So I'm going over on my break at work because you started right at 9:30. I was like, I'm going to get in this time. So
good job.
It's worth it, though. Hopefully I don't get in too much trouble.
No, hope not.
Yeah, no, I'll be all right. So y'all talking draft. I sent you I sent a text on this topic, but I like drafting best available almost no matter what. Now, there's like 2 or 3 guys that could drop to that 12 spot that I think no matter, it doesn't matter what their position is. They're just straight up studs.
Yeah.
And studs get drafted no matter what. I don't care what your position need is. I don't care if you've got I like the tight end from Penn State.
I was about to say, what if it's a tight end from Penn State? You like him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like him. He reminds me of Bowers. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to be as good as Bowers, but he reminds me a whole lot of Bowers. I wanted Bowers last year. A lot of people told me I was stupid. I love Bowers.
Yeah, so. I watch college football, and I feel like I know a lot of the stuff, a lot of the great players, but did he just kind of burst onto the scene late, or did I just not ever hear about him?
He had 153 receptions in college, 103 of them last year.
Oof.
So he just found a coach that I think it's just finally some coach said, this guy's a stud. Why aren't we using him?
Yeah, I like it.
So, and like I say, I'm best available guy myself, but if all the guys I really love drop, then yeah, I'm with you. Let's get an offensive tackle, man.
Yeah. I don't know if they can mess this one up. I really don't. Even if you trade back a little bit, there's just so many needs and so many really good players that I think that they're going to get in it. And if they did that and got their 3rd-round pick or 4th-round pick back, and the pick that they had for Mingo, if they did that, still picked up a really good player, I think that it's hard to go wrong here. So. I'm excited about what they've done because I think they've done just enough in free agency, just enough to kind of, put some Band-Aids on a few positions, and they should be in good shape. And heading into the draft, there's really not a major glaring need that you're like, well, you've got to get this position. Kind of like they did last year with offensive line, you had to get an offensive lineman, but this year you're not pigeonholed into doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I want to shout out to the StoryLiners on X. I don't get on there as much to participate, but I pay a lot of attention to it, and I appreciate what those guys are doing. Got to go, brother.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Don't get in trouble at work there. Thanks, Joe in Stanford. And he's thanking the people on StoryLine X, the StoryLiners that have their own, I guess it's their own, the Spaces is what it's called, own little community over there. It's pretty awesome. And ironically, the guy that is one of the people spearheading that is Dylan in Northport, Florida. Who's next? So, Dylan, Joe's doing a shout-out to you. What's up?
What's up? Next up, Joe. How you doing?
Good. How's it going over there with I mean, I always mess up how to say it. Say it. Give me like the Cliff Notes version of what is that? What do y'all call yourself? A little community over there?
The Spaces? Yeah. Yeah, so it's on Twitter /X, whatever you want to call it. It's the Cowboys StoryLiners, and you just go to the search thingy-majig up in the top right corner of Twitter and just search the community. Just type in StoryLiners or Cowboys StoryLiners. We should pop right up. And I changed the date of our spaces. Our spaces are like little hangouts we do. I try to kind of keep it open, but it gets a little wild in there. As you know, last week that was probably the most intense one that we've had in some time.
Yeah.
Now, I felt bad for Rob. I let Rob kind of defend himself, but it was like the last Alamo out there. He was like getting hit from every angle, and he did a good job. But it's at a certain point you got to kind of step in and got to go to hand raises and all that. But we have our spaces every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, so I guess that'd be 8 Central Time.
Yeah, you do a nice job navigating that. You have to kind of tell everyone calm down, and you mute everyone. I've said that happened a couple of times. Like, okay, I'm muting everyone. Everyone, calm down, relax. All right. So it's. I
try not to abuse my powers, but it gets to a certain point where you can't hear anything.
Sometimes
so
you have to do
gotta,
it. It's fun. It's good. I love that's what this show has kind of ignited. So. As long as you guys don't forget about this show and just forget, we don't need that anymore. We got our own community. So I love that you guys have done that and picked up friends and along the way, people all across the world really that you guys are able to talk to. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, I started this thing because you were, after that first season, you were going on break for a couple of months there, and I was like, well, he had a lot of progress as far as the listener count and all that stuff, doing really well. I'm like, kind of want to keep the momentum going, so what can I do? So that's kind of came up with this thing.
Yeah. All right, what you got?
Draft talk. Offensive line, man, I'm totally cool with that. I know a lot of Cowboys Nation isn't, but you got to remember, I just tell people, think about 2014, think about 2016. Mm-hmm. Those teams were really good for what reason? It was the offensive line. Okay, you had a rookie quarterback step in who was a fourth-round pick, and he succeeded. He played very, very well, far beyond expectations. Probably because the offensive line, or a big part of it was the offensive line and the running game that you had. So in order to reestablish that running game and get this thing going again, I think you got to invest in the offensive line. That doesn't mean you got to pick one at 12. I'm kind of hoping for a trade back situation into maybe the late teens, 18, 19, 20, somewhere around there. Maybe a Tyler Banks is available because I think we have a need at right guard as well. I know you're talking about left tackle, but I think right guard is also a need. It's a big question mark for me. So I'm cool with a scenario. Like, I'm also cool with picking like a Ted McMillan at 12. I mean, it just depends who falls. But you're right, dude. Like, whether they trade back or pick a guy, unless they just like really go off the wall and grab somebody that's like, who the heck is that? They really can't mess this up. There's going to be a lot of really good players. And I'm seeing mock drafts now where like Matthew Golden's going in the top 10.
Right.
So it's changing up quite a bit here now compared to what it was just a couple weeks ago. So I'm excited to see, where this thing goes. And I'm hoping that maybe, I don't know if we can do something with your show here where maybe the callers can call in in maybe a couple of weeks and we can do like a first round mock and see who the Cowboys are going to take as far as the fan perspective and get like our official picks in and get a tally. And like, that's maybe who the storyliners want for pick number 1 in the draft.
Yeah, we can discuss that. We can figure out how to make that work the best way. But I know that the draft show does some of those kind of things. But still, for you guys, that would be awesome. We'll figure out how to do that the best way. Our show's on Wednesdays, the draft's on Thursday, obviously. So that might be a great show before the day before the draft. We'll figure out how to be creative and do that where you guys can be involved. So I love it.
Sweet. Sounds good, man.
Right.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Dylan in Northport, Florida. I think the lines are open right now. 888-855-2297 is the number to call. We was talking about the offensive line and great players, different positions. We've talked about that with the other callers as well. I mean, I know the Cowboys feel this way, and I'm fine with it as well. If the 12th pick is an edge rusher, okay. I mean, that's great too. I mean, yes, you've got Micah, and I think the plan is to keep him and trying to figure this out, and contract negotiations continue with him. But if having another pass rusher on the other side is the top 15 pick, top 12, whatever it is, yeah, I'd be totally fine with that as long as it's somebody that can I mean, obviously they should be able to rush from both sides. I mean, you're not going to be picked in the first round if you can't get to the quarterback from different ways. But somebody that can understand how to flip spots, left side, right side, maybe through the middle, because Micah's going to do that, and that's how Micah's effective. And so when Micah's flipping from each side, then the other guy's got to flip as well. So as long as you've got a guy that can do that and is comfortable playing all over the line, then that would be exciting, for me. I mean, that would be a position that I think because that can also help your team immediately. We saw that with Micah. Micah comes in, he was able to rush the way he did, change that whole team. And then when Dak went down in his rookie season, that defense was ready to go and carry Cooper Rush and that team until Dak got back, and defense was great all year long. And instant impact. I'm not saying Micah would be, there would be another Micah in this draft, but there could be. I mean, there could be. Teams didn't see Micah the way Dan Quinn actually had a vision for him, and so that was really big. And so what I'm saying is pass rusher is another position that can help your team instantly there. All right, Chris, we don't have another call, do we? Oh, we do? Okay. Just give it to me blind then. Whoever we got, put them on the line. What's up?
Hey, what's up? It's Gavin in Oklahoma City.
What's up, man? How you doing? I'm
doing good.
I needed 4 more words, then I would have nailed it. Yeah. There's not a lot of people that sound exactly like you. I would have got it. Gavin, What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. Get this computer restarted here. I'm not getting the messages. What's up with you?
Well, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at with some thoughts about where the Cowboys are at right now, and then I'm gonna ask you a couple quick questions. So, something tells me the Cowboys are done in free agency. I think a lot of people get that impression. Personally, I'm happy that they were more active in free agency this year and added some depth, but I don't think I'm very comfortable with them not adding any more before the draft. I feel like they're setting themselves up, as they have in the past, to really have to knock this draft out of the park. And even, to be honest, even then, I don't know that would be enough to get us to the ultimate goal. I do feel more optimistic about this year because, I mean, I felt like this last year too, but I'm pleased with our superstars. I think we have a great trio of superstars, and we have a few stars mixed in as well, and that's great. However, I feel like as fans, it gets frustrating when you get the feeling that the Cowboys aren't doing everything they possibly can to get to the Super Bowl in a given year. I feel like the front office really tries to balance the present and the future, which is great, and every team has to do that to an extent. However, while you have CD in his prime, Micah in his prime, while you have Dak Prescott under center, I really think you have to take advantage of that. I think I speak for Cowboys fans when I say I would be great if we made it to even just the championship game and then had some years of rebuilding in the future. I just truly think that the Cowboys need to go all in on the present, as Jerry said last year. So,
yep.
I say all that I'm so sorry.
No, man, go ahead. I mean, you're right. You're right, and I understand that frustration. I actually do not think they're done. I don't think that they're done yet.
That was going to be my question to you. Do you think they're done, and are you comfortable with where they're at? Is what I was going to ask you.
No, I it's hard to know exactly what they can do money-wise and things like that. I'm sure they can, still work a few things out. I think that there's got to be a backup quarterback, but that's not something that anybody's thinking of is going to help them as far. You don't expect Dak to miss a bunch of time, and if so, it's hard to think that you're gonna be just the same or if not better. But you're thinking about players that can come right in and help in the starting lineup. And
we need a starter.
I still think that there's going to be a move made at some point. I don't think that they're done. I just don't think when you lose like Brandon Cooks, who signed with the Saints, but when you lose Cooks and you have Tolbert coming back and then Turpin with CD, I just don't think that, because if that's the case, then I think you do have to draft a receiver 12 or 44 or whatever. I think you have to.
Yeah.
That's why I think that they'll probably add a receiver. That's what I believe. I think they're going to add a receiver at some point. I don't know if it's going to be the one that that you love the most or whatever. Whoever's out there could be a trade. I just think that the Cowboys are going to add a receiver or it's another splash player. Let me put air quotes on splash, but another maybe high profile player.
I know what you mean.
That you've heard of.
I mean, if they could add a corner and a receiver that could come in and start, I would be ecstatic as far as heading into the draft because you still have needs, but you put yourself in a place where if you do knock the draft out of the park, you're in a good place to compete, even though this team is already competitive.
Yeah. I mean, they're competitive, but, I mean, last year showed us that, against the good teams, they really didn't have it. They weren't close at all.
And that has always been a problem, even in the great years. The injuries really kicked us, last year. But even while they were healthy, it just didn't look like they was going to be able to compete with the top of the NFC.
No, they're not close to the Eagles right now. So
that's reality.
And you got to face them twice. So that's where they got to get better for sure. They got to be able to be on that level. So
the last thing I'll say before I get off here is I don't claim to be one of these fans that knows what's going on in the front office and between agents and people signing. I've really never got the sense that Dak wanted to sign before he signed or CD. So I'm not ragging on the front office when I say this. But something tells me they could have had this Micah deal done. I really feel like they're just hanging over $1 million or $2 million or a detail here or a detail there. Although these things take time, I feel like if they could just get him signed, maybe they could make that splash move. I really would hate to see a player that Dallas was interested in just come off the board if the interest was mutual because the negotiation took too long. I'm not exactly sure where they are with finances on making stuff happen. Maybe they could make the move and then sign Micah later and still feel good about it. It's just I'm not sure about that, but I feel like they really need to get that done.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say.
Yeah,
Thank you, Nick.
I'd like to get thanks for the call, Gavin. Yeah, I'd like to see that deal done as well. You said some things about Dak and CD maybe not really wanting to get that deal done. I mean, I think what you're understanding, not everyone does this, because people don't, it's easy to blame Jerry and Steven and not necessarily the players or their agent. Let's not forget that part. And that happens a lot. The player is tired of it too. The player wants to get the deal done. The player's not necessarily concerned with as much with what this means to the other receivers, the other quarterbacks, the other pass rushers, whatever. There's a game that's played there that, everyone kind of works together and keep these prices moving up and all that stuff. The player kind of gets to the point like, I'm ready to get in here, I'm missing work and all that. The agent a lot of times is like the one that's supposed to be the responsible one of it, but he's also driving the price up here. He says, no, let's do the right thing. Let's keep this thing going. Let's don't cave, all that stuff. So I think that's what's happened in those first two cases, and I believe that's what's happening also with Micah too. The agent's doing his job, like it or not. I mean, and that's kind of what's happened here. So I think that from what I hear, that's partly what's happening. I think there were some reports that the deal was close, and from my understanding, I've heard that it was. I don't know if it is right now. So that's part of the negotiations. I mean, it's back and forth and up and down, and we'll figure it out. Cowboys aren't really that concerned. They'll put the franchise tag on Micah if they need to. They're not gonna let him go. So they'll put the tag on him, and we'll see. And some of this is on Micah too, because Micah talks a lot. When you talk a lot, you say things, and people don't forget it. And when you say, "Oh, I want to," I don't need this amount, or this, or I don't want to get the deal done and all that, and then it doesn't happen, then it comes back to you and says, "What's the deal?" So, anyways, I think the Cowboys would like to get it done. Obviously, I think Micah does as well, but it's got to work for everyone, and that's why it's taken the time that it's taken. Ali in Florida is next. Ali, what's up?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good, buddy. How are you? Good. Okay, so, I don't know if you know this, but the Cowboys, they have a lot of money. 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 They Couple of things. Draft is almost a month away, and everybody has a mock draft. I totally agree with you. Offensive line is a must. But I was in the group that one of the persons connected to front office, and this guy is legit. I can give you his name off the line, but according to him, he says Cowboys gonna do everything possible to draft Genty because they view him as Emmitt Smith. I want to take your opinion and get off the line. Thank you, buddy.
Okay. I think from a prospect standpoint, yeah, I could see a lot of the Emmitt Smith stuff there. He's more of a home run hitter than Emmitt, or at least that's what it appears. Because even when Emmitt was playing in the late '80s, the SEC was still really good football, and he was playing against that competition. Ashton Genty playing in the Mountain West, you break a few more, big runs, but I still think he's got that speed to do that. A little bit more of a home run hitter than Emmitt. But as far as just how kind of compact they are and how they don't really get hit a lot, just kind of the way that they're able to maneuver their body and get those runs, and a 4-yard run can turn into an 8-yard run. And a 0-yard gain can be a 3-yard run. It's that type of shiftiness that makes them so clever in the way that they could run and pick up extra yards. Obviously, that's the key to everything. You guys know that. If it's 2nd and 9, you get a draw and it looks like you're stuffed, and next thing you know, you kind of slip through and get 5 yards there, and it's 3rd and 4. It changes everything. Changes the personnel, changes what you want to do. It might change if it's 4-down territory. So those extra yards, and I'm not telling you guys nothing you don't already know, but those type of runners, that's what made Emmitt so good, because he, on 2nd down, he could get a run that would put him in 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2. And with Stepnoski and Nate and Tuanay and Eric Williams and Darryl Johnston and Emmitt Smith, you're getting it. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, you're going to get it. So that's the type of runner that I think Ashton Genty can be. And then you put in a fact that he can go 60, 70 yards. That's pretty impressive there as well. All right, let's go to break here real quick on Cowboys storyline. I know we have a couple callers on the line. Let me get a break, and then we'll be right back after this.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like mama's recipes. Take your steak, cornbread, cobbers, pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit AltecLansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's AltecLansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
One of the biggest shows of the year is coming to AT&T Stadium on April 26th. The Grand National Tour, headlined by Kendrick Lamar, will be here in Arlington at the end of April. Get your tickets today at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium. All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline, 888-855-2297 is the number to call. We've got 2 callers on the line. Let's get to it. Tamara in Iowa is next. Tamara, what's up?
Hi. Hey, you. So I do have something to say. So trying to get I was on hold for a really long time.
Sorry.
So I'm trying to get it back together here. So you said something earlier.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I'm trying to think about it. Okay. So, a couple things. So I'm going to lead with something different. I usually lead with serious, and then I go with lead with serious, and then I go with fun. I'm going to lead with fun. So way back when, you used to say who our favorite player is.
Right.
Tony Romo. So I was me and my husband, we had the hall pass on Friends, and I said, if I ever get with anybody that I'm never ever going to meet ever in the world, it's going to be Tony Romo, and that is and so he was a really good player. And here's the other thing, and I don't know if this is real or not real, and I'd like you to try to confirm it if you can. And that's my second thing about Romo. So he went to Denver, had the worst game of his life, he broke a whole bunch of bones out of his body, and they said, though, later on, somebody said that they broke down on the road, and Tony Romo came over and fixed their flat tire. And I don't know if that really happened or didn't happen. I'd like you to confirm that. And then the other thing that I'd like to say that's not so fun, I usually lead with not fun and then fun, going opposite. So I'd like to know what you think about what we've done in the off season. And I don't pay that much attention. I listen. I mean, I do. Okay, I'm lying. I pay a lot of attention. But also, I don't know these guys, and I don't know how good the draft players they get. I don't know. But I'd like to hear what you say. And I listen to all the other podcasts as well, by the way. So it's not just you. You're my favorite for sure. But I listen to everybody else, too.
Thank you.
And I am paying a lot more. I know I seem like I don't, because I like to kind of play it off I'm just out here being a crazy girl. And I am a crazy girl. But also I pay a lot of it. I think you probably know. I pay a lot more attention than I maybe seem like I do.
Yeah. Well, if you're calling this show, I think people pay attention. I think the people that call this show and interact with it, they know what's going on, and they want to be as much informed as they can.
Well, and I love Rob. Rob, I know you get mad at Rob, and so that's what I worry about, because a lot of times whatever Rob says is what I agree, and I'm like, oh, Nick doesn't like Rob that much.
I love Rob. That's absolutely not true.
Him.
That's not true.
I love him. Okay,
Whoa.
You love him too.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. All right, Tamara. Thanks for the call. Have a great day. And she loves Rob, so for sure, I do too. He makes the show what it is, and one of the people that makes, but also he brings brings the heat, and that's good. Sometimes it gets cold, and then you got to bring the heat, and he does that, and he does a good job. Not today, haven't heard from him today, but no, he. But as for the Romo on the side, I don't know Romo's history of that of fixing flat tires and helping people and all that. I'll say this: I do another story that I do know of is we had a receiver here named Kevin Ogletree who just for some reason decided for 2 years not to get his license renewed, and just didn't think that he needed to do it. And then he got pulled over, and his license wasn't, it's been like 2 years, and so he gets arrested. He gets sent to jail, and who goes and and bails him out. Tony Romo. I mean, he needed him for practice. He needed him out there. So Tony Romo is the one that actually went up to the courthouse and got him, bailed out and all that stuff. I'm sure, I don't know how much it was, but it was Romo. That story is true. So I don't know about changing the flat tire and all that stuff, but he did that. He also left his girlfriend on the side of the road one time, who I think when they broke up, but that's another story. All right, let's go to Robbie in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Robbie.
It's been a minute, huh, Nick?
How you doing?
Mostly good. We had a death in the family. That's why I haven't been on very much last couple weeks.
I'm sorry to hear that. Hope everybody in the family's doing okay.
It was a little hard on my kids. It was Grandpa, and it's
oh man.
I hope you don't know, but you will someday.
Oh yeah.
It was rough on the little ones for sure.
I hear it. Yep.
And I appreciate you.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk Cowboys, man.
For sure.
Right?
For sure, right.
Let's hear it.
What do you got for us?
I'm the half full. The glass is always half full.
Yeah. I'm
the optimist always. I love my team. I'm not going to be mad and stomp my feet and go, I'm never watching another game like some of these people do. I'm not that guy. I know what I like. Feel sorry for myself that I'm a Cowboys fan sometimes, but I'm a fan. I'll always watch the games, and I'll call in and talk with my team. I feel like they have kind of blacked off, man. I see some of the trades they've done and some of the hole filling in free agency, but how are we supposed to compete with the Eagles and these other top teams, man? It just seems like we're not doing enough. It frustrates me. I mean, we're going to have a super draft to be able to compete with them. Don't you think?
Definitely need to have a super draft. I mean, to compete with a lot of teams, any team. Yeah, and I mean, it sucks when the Super Bowl champion is in your division, and then the team they beat to get there is also in your division, and they're getting better too, and they have a lot of money to play with. So yeah, it's a tough situation. I mean, that they're in. But yeah. I just think it's the fans don't necessarily understand. To me, sometimes when it comes to the salary cap, I feel fans are like kids and teenagers of like they don't know how much money their parents have. They see their house and their car and they're like, we got money. Why can't we get this, and this? When in reality, they just don't have it. They don't have it. And yes, you can move around and all that. Just like you right now, you could go buy a car if you wanted to. You could buy another car. Do you want to? What's it going to take to get there? Do you need it?
Too much, yeah. I agree with all that.
You can do it, but in the long run, that's not a good idea. So to say they could do this, and this, and the reality is they don't necessarily want to do that because that A, they don't think it's worth it, and B, it's going to really mess them up down the road even more. So, I like what they've done in free agency. I think they've done almost as much as they can do. I don't think that they're finished yet. I really don't. I think there's going to be some more moves made.
And I'm not saying I hate the team, man. I wish they'd done a little, maybe something different. I mean, I like the oh my God, the defensive end, Fowler. I'm glad that we got Fowler back. I think he's a good fit. I'm glad we re-signed Oso Digizua. He's pretty dang awesome, I think. I hope they sign Micah and get that done so we maybe have a little bit of money to play with.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
get
wish
it.
they'd do a little
your
more,
frustration. Man. Yeah, I get it. But I think for the guys that they've lost, the guys that they've brought in, I like that. I like the runners that they brought in more than the runners that they lost. Like Rico Dowdle, solid, but I like Javonte Williams. I think it's a good back. Now,
you said something great about Rico last year. You said he's a great number 2.
Yeah,
and I've agreed with that since you said it.
Yeah, and I think they wanted to bring him back in that role, but I don't think. Where'd he go? Denver? No,
I don't even know.
I don't even know either.
Carolina.
The new Beam would know. He's so smart. He knows everything.
He does. He knows everything. I mean, that's not a joke. He knows everything. He knows a lot about a lot. So it's awesome. Yeah. All right. Hey, man.
All right. Let's go. Hey, have fun at the baseball game.
Appreciate it.
Beam told me all about it.
Yeah.
You guys have a blast, man.
Okay. Thank you. Beam, I mean, You just like throwing all our stuff out there? No. Thursdays, we do have a work event at the Rangers Red Sox opening day. Say it's a work event. It'll be a little retreat for us. That's probably why I'm sure they need to throw that out there. Some of the shows, all the shows except for one, will not be on tomorrow. So we're making some schedule changes there. So we'll see what happens. Rangers and Red Sox opening day. A lot of sports activity happening there. Still March Madness, and if your team is still in it, you get a chance to cheer them on as well. All right, Michael in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Michael, what's up?
Well, the Tar Heels went out the first round, so mine's not.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they won. They won a game. They showed that they belonged.
Yeah.
I thought. I think it's kind of funny. They don't belong. Then they win by 40. And you're like, oh, well.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think they'd make it, and then I saw they got in the play-in game and did good. But you're a good point.
Yeah.
Hey, man, the other day I was listening, and you were talking about it was your daughter's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter's birthday was that day too.
Nice.
We were actually going. We were going to the Louisville Zoo, and I was like, "Well, up
all right."
Yeah, same day. I'm just excited I got through. I mean, I didn't call 500 times, but I called like 150. I haven't been able to get through. I just want to say, that I'm falling into the trap again. I see these moves that they're making, and I've been listening to some Dallas Cowboys mock drafts, and I don't know. I just like what I'm seeing. I figure Jerry Jones was Executive of the Year I don't remember how many years ago it was, but it wasn't a long time ago. I don't think he's forgot how to do that. So, and all the money he's made in his businesses. So, I mean, I think he still knows what he's doing. I mean, we might not all like it, but I'm there. I'm starting to fall in again.
It's the circle, and that's what happens. It's this vicious cycle that just happens, and you're just like, no, I hate football. I hate everyone. I don't want to watch sports again. And then the next thing you know, you're just like, in the 6th round, we can get this, and this. And you're in. That's what happens. I'm the same way. I love it. That's what sports is. It sucks us back in. Sports is the vacuum cleaner, right? Just sucks you in all the time.
Hey, one quick question. I'll let you go so you can get some more callers. Have you done the all StoryLine team yet?
Yep.
Are you working on it?
Yep. No, we did it last week. It was great. I don't think you made it, but it was great. I'm kidding. We have not done it yet. We have not done it. But
I was going to say, I was listening to all of them, but I was pretty sure I had.
We're there. We're getting there. I had the piece of paper on Friday. I was giving it to Chris, and he looked at it, and he was like, no, out. Get him off there. Get her out of there. No, I'm just kidding. We had a good little discussion about that. We're getting close. I just got to add another show. I want to add a second show for the week, just to do that. So I'm trying to figure out the best timing for all that. We'll see. We'll see when that goes in. But maybe in a couple weeks. But yep, you should have a spot somewhere on it.
But, all right, man. Hey, y'all have a good one. I'm glad you got so many callers that it takes 150 or even 500 calls to get through. Love the show. Number one show on Cowboys to me.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Thank you. I mean, the patience. I mean, if I call something three times in a row and if it's busy and all that, it's just not in the cards. So the fact that you guys do that, like that's something that I don't know if I could do, and I appreciate that. Like that's what makes the show. So I love the fact that we do that. And so I say that to all the people that are calling right now or that called earlier, you might have to, if you're calling and you can't get through, then you're not listening to the show. So if you go back and you listen later, I appreciate that. If you've called in today and you didn't make it, this is for you. I really appreciate that dedication and the fact that you want to be a part of it. It means everything to us. So thank you so much. Let's go to Lewis in Langston, Oklahoma. Lewis, what's up, man? It's been a little bit.
Not much, man. Just, sitting at work listening to the show most of the time.
I
can, like you said, if I can't get in, I usually just listen.
Don't get in trouble. Just don't get in trouble. You don't get in trouble, but got those headphones on. How you doing?
No. Man, just trying to make it, thank God it's almost summertime, spring, I guess, if you want to call it, because I was getting tired of wearing 1,000 clothes and I felt like a daggone bear in the cold every other day. So I'm okay with the sun coming out now.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, man, I just was calling, man, because I've been kind of watching the free agency and the coaching stuff. And last time I called, I was appreciative of the coaching staff that they put together. This time, I'm appreciative of the free agents they've gotten. Now, I'm like most people, I want them to get like this big name free agent and stuff like that. But like you said, like, to be honest, technically, I guess Osa would be their big name free agent that they bought back. So I'm cool with that. I hate that we lost Jordan Lewis. But, I mean, if they're not willing to pay that kind of money, we just going to have to find somebody to fill the role. But, I mean, there's only one Jordan Lewis. So, hey, it is what it is. That's part of the game. But if I had to throw my hat in the ring, I really would like them to bring in another receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, somebody. I mean, I think Lockett's out there. I was hoping they bring in Diggs, but apparently we wasn't in the market for that neither, because between the ACL tear and the money he got from the Patriots, I don't think we were even close to being in that market.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I hope they will bring in a big-name receiver, or at least a veteran receiver that would help out. And then, draft you a receiver, maybe another O-lineman or so. I would be okay if they bring in another O-lineman. And, you can never get too many defensive linemen. Bring in as many as you can at this point, because if we're going to try to stop the run like they say, just bring them in till you find one that fits.
Yeah.
And I'll be okay with that. But I ain't going to hold you too long, right. and I don't want to stay. I always want everybody else to get in, so I'll talk to you when I talk to you.
Thank you so much, Lewis. Appreciate that. I mean, I could see some other positions that you'd like to shore up even more, like slot corner, backup quarterback, maybe another pass rusher or defensive tackle. Maybe a big defensive tackle, one technique. They're not sitting out there on trees, so I understand that. But I still think that there's moves that could be made, and a lot of times you get to the point now where, we're still a month away, so we're not at that point yet. There's still some things that can happen, but you get probably 2 weeks away from the draft, then you really don't want to do anything. A lot of teams, it slows down, because why wait till after the draft at that point? So then it'll pick back up again a little bit of like, all right, now what do we need after the draft and rookie free agents? Now what do we need for our team? And so I think you still got another 2 weeks or so until that period. Then it slows down, draft. After that, you might see some more that happens here. All right, let's go to Rob in Vegas. Rob, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick, how's everything?
Good. You had some fans on the show, other callers talking about you, saying how much that they love you, and I said, all right, well, we haven't heard from them yet. And then what do you know? Boom.
I love when my ex-girlfriend calls in. It's awesome that we.
Wow.
I appreciate it.
I don't know. Is this a thing? I don't know if we even want to go down this road. But
no, I don't. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been to that part of the country, so it's probably impossible.
Probably impossible. You never know. Let's leave it at that. Rob, what do we got? What do we got?
So, we're talking about the free agency. I was going to ask you, what grade would you give them?
Overall grade of free agency off season, I'd say a B. B minus was kind of B minus.
You're generous.
Yeah.
I have them at a C minus, and it's because they brought in a lot of guys, but I don't think they brought in enough players. I like Dante Fowler, and I like the two linebackers, but they didn't address number 2 wide receiver spot, which I think they have to either address that before the draft, and cornerback. Give me one of them. I would love for them to go sign Keenan Allen. Every time I watch this guy play, I don't even know how old he is, but he still makes plays. He's still really good, and he is a big body guy that we don't have. And I just think, wide receiver is one of those positions that when you draft, for some reason they struggle a lot of times.
Yeah,
so,
they're not there yet.
So I think they have to address cornerback or the second wide receiver spot before the draft to have any chance of, like the other caller said, to compete against Philadelphia. Because you got what? How many draft picks we're going to have this year? I don't know. You're lucky you get 3 starters. If you get 3 starters, that's like amazing.
Yeah.
And I want them to draft best available. It's worked out really good for them, CD, Micah. And honestly, you can't mess it up.
No.
There's not one guy that they could draft who's the best player that can't come onto this team and start and make it better because they have so many holes. I totally agree with the offensive line, but I don't think they will draft a left tackle because I don't think they'll admit that they maybe made a mistake on Guyton yet. And maybe they haven't. Who knows? But that is the position that worries me.
Yeah, me too.
But I just think I don't see them putting him on the shelf. I think they're going to ride it out with him and, see what happens and just hopefully he hits the gym. But right now and then the Micah thing, the reason why they're in no hurry to sign Micah, for whatever reason, they don't mind overpaying. They've proven that. And if they were to sign Micah, let's say tomorrow, I think they save like $10, $15 million. But what's the point if they're not going to spend it? I think right now they got over $40 million available, closer to 50, and they're going to carry over a bunch of money to next year. That's what they like to do. So I think they say to themselves, we'll get Micah done. They'll probably get him done in the summer, like they always do in training camp.
Just so you know, Rob, that whatever you're seeing about money available, it's always about $25 million is what the Cowboys and what most teams take that they need to actually run the season with injury, with the IR, with the practice squad and elevations, stuff like that. You need about 22 to 25 million for that. So just know that going in. That's part.
I know they carry over.
But no, that's not carrying over. That's stuff that you have to spend. Draft picks and stuff like that. That's money you have to have on your bank account. There, you have to have that 25 million so you can run through the season. So, these websites might tell you it's 50 million, but they have, and still that means they have money to do other things. You're right. You are right. I'm just saying it's not 50. It's still 25. That you can still do things though. You can still do things. So I'm not disagreeing.
And they have to. They have to. Like Paul has said.
I don't think they're done.
We're not close to Philadelphia, even though Philadelphia lost a couple of defensive players. They drafted so good the prior years that it's just the young kid. They looked at the young kids and like, young guys are just as good, and we don't pay them. I would like for them to get Micah done as soon as possible, and then I'd like them to go get Tyler Smith done.
Yeah,
those are the 2 guys. The rest, you got time, but those are the 2 guys, especially Micah. Now, I'm sure they'll say to themselves, do we really want a 41, 40? And I don't think it's going to take 40. I think it's going to take 37, 38. I disagree with the agent. Yes, the agents are gunning for the most money. But if the player if Micah gets presented a deal and he likes it, he has the power to say, I'm taking it.
He does.
The agent is always going to – it's like in a realtor. They could say, we could get more, but if the owner selling the house says, no, I'm not waiting around, I'm going to take it. So I think Michael would be willing to take, out of all the players everybody talk about, Dak, definitely not. CD, he got what he was supposed to get, so he was perfect. 35 was the top guy, he got 34. We figured that. Mike, I honestly don't think is asking for 42. I really don't. I think he'll take 37, 38. But
all right. We'll see. I mean, I thought it was close, and now I don't know if it's that close. But then again, you can get close like that. Like you said, if you want to get to a number in mind, you can just do it. And then just like with the Dak CD thing, you can get to where it needs to be. Probably the offers are on the table if whether or not they want to do it or not. So, all right. Rob, good to hear from you. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you later. All right, let's go to break. Let's go to break here on Cowboy Storyline and come back. Got a few more calls to answer. Be right back.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
There is no I in Dallas. There is no I in Hart either. No I in Blue Star or in Lone Star for that matter. And there's no I in how about them Cowboys? Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. Football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks, home or away, we rally together. We cry together. And we always rally cry together because there's definitely no I in Cowboys fans. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
To Cowboys Storyline.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline. We were talking about it here in the break. I think it was Rob in the last call that said, I don't really know how many picks we had, and I didn't either. But it looks like right now the Cowboys are sitting with 10 draft picks. They did get the 4 comp picks, so they've already traded one of those away. But they do have 10 right now. They have a pick in the first, second, and third. No pick in the fourth. 3 picks in the fifth. 2 in the sixth. 2 in the seventh. So that's Saturday. As it stands right now, that's going to be a pretty busy day. Even without a fourth-round pick currently, you're still looking at 7 draft picks there. So, but, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think the Cowboys will probably I know they will move around and do some things, and who knows, they may even make some trades before we even get to the draft. And so that's where it stands right now, 10 draft picks. We'll see what it looks like. All right, let's go to Lester in Minnesota. Lester, what's up?
Morning, Nick.
What's it going to take for them to get good?
A good to very good offensive and defensive line at the same time.
All right. I love it. I haven't heard it today. I love that other people refer to it. They're like, just like Lester says, so it's great. What do you got, man? What do you got for us?
I give the grade on what we've so far done on the free agent market a C.
Okay.
I think we should go get Keenan Allen. And if Asante Samuel's still out there, I think we should go get him. And then, of course, I gave you what I thought the offensive line should be, I think, last week. I think we could be okay with that starting the season. Of course, I want more, but
right.
I think we could be okay with that. And then I would work on the defensive line first. Unless someone falls, a good offensive line falls to a pick where we don't expect it, like CeeDee Lamb did, of course take them, but
right.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I like the offensive line. I think offensive line is probably what's needed the most. But if there's defensive line, I'm fine with that. If it's a pass rusher, I mean, I said this earlier in the show. I mean, I would be fine with that too. I see. Like I was listening to talk radio this morning. We were kind of talking about certain draft trade scenarios, and maybe the Cowboys would move to 20 in a trade with. I think that was Denver. I don't know if I love that. I like 16, 17, 20. I think you're picking up another, second round pick probably, like late second, which. That's intriguing as well, but you're picking late in the second round. I don't know if I love that as much as from 12 to 20, you're definitely dropping. So I don't know how far. I'll ask you, Lester, how far would you want to trade back? Like in the first round, what would be ideal and what would be too far?
Ideal. We're at 12, right? No less than go down no further than 16. And pick up that 4th-round pick we lost, or like you said, if we can get a 3rd or a 2nd or whatever. Let's pick up that 4th-round pick, though. Let's try to get that if we could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get it back.
Yeah.
The reason I said Keenan Allen, because I know he's hurt a lot, but he's a veteran. He's a really good number 2.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the routes and everything.
Yeah, he can run routes for sure.
I think we got so many holes. That's where I usually don't fiddle around with receivers and stuff like that, but we got so many holes. I'm just, in my mind, trying to fill them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the receiver thing's interesting because if you're bringing in an older guy that he's obviously not going to play special teams, so now you're looking at you got Tolbert in there as well. Then you're going to draft a guy maybe. I wonder. I don't think it can be a Tyler Lockett. Maybe Keenan Allen maybe, but I just don't know if it can be somebody that is just like your 3rd receiver, 4th receiver, just because you need a guy that can be a number 2, and I think Tolbert's really a 3. That's what I would look at. So, and I think Keenan Allen could be that guy, but we'll see. I don't know. I think they're going to get creative here. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think they'll get creative.
All right. Well, we like to do the 1 and 2 year deals. I mean, you could put Keenan Allen definitely on a 1 or 2 year deal. I mean,
yeah.
Again, I don't know about all that stuff, but I know they like to do 1 and 2 year deals.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, maybe draft someone and develop that person or whatever.
Right.
I'm just looking to fill the holes this year so we can compete with these people in our division.
I get it. No, I get it. I understand. I want to compete. It's not, next year, 2 years from now, you want to compete this year. And we've seen it happen. I mean, we've seen things turn around. Thanks for the call, Lester. Appreciate that. He's already had his tagline in there. We know what it takes in his mind, how to get things better, and what's it going to take. So, I just feel like things can happen in one season. We've seen turnarounds. We've seen it happen. We saw it with. Look at Washington. I mean, a new coach, new vibes, new staff. That can go a lot. It can't carry you all the way. You got to have good players. There's no doubt about it. This team has good players. They've got to get a little luckier than they have as far as injury wise. And so that gotta hope that it's not going to be like it was last year. I mean, you're going to have injuries, but last year, just player after player after player, a great player at that, just wiped them out. So you can't. It's hard to compete. I mean, you can argue that when you look at all the injuries and look at what happened. I mean, 7-10 was just amazing just to get there. But I think that they'll be better overall in a lot of areas. You can stay somewhat healthy. Also have a little bit more depth. And that's what they're working on now. That's what free agency is about, getting some of those guys in the back end that when you do have an injury on your frontline players that you can go in there and withstand that. Let's go to Ronnie in New Jersey.
Hey, good morning, Nick.
What's up?
I was just listening listening to the grades you guys were giving for the free agency. I can't believe Rob gave them a C plus, or you giving them a B. I don't think on free agency it was no better than a D plus.
D?
A D plus. I don't see how you can give them a better grade than that.
D is in Dallas or B?
Yeah, D as in Dallas. D plus. I don't see how you could get even into a C, considering that the guys they picked up, they're hoping. We're doing that hoping.
Everybody's hoping. I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
You're hoping on everybody. The first pick in the draft, you're hoping Cam Ward. You're hoping Cam Ward is good. You're hoping. I mean, it's all hope, isn't it? Isn't it all hope? I mean,
it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like. So who would get an A? Who would get an A in free agency? What team is getting an A?
I honestly, I'm not looking into what other teams were doing.
I don't either. I'm just saying. Yeah, you're right. My answer to that would be they're all hoping as well. So, but D, what would have been
if they would have gotten at least 3 starters? I mean, I know we got the defensive tackle. We got
Solomon Thomas.
No,
Osa?
We got our guy back.
Yeah,
we got our guy back, and
there's
Solomon
one.
Thomas. We got him as a backup. So
yeah,
everybody else. I don't see what starter we picked up that's going to make a difference in the team as free agency. Even from the guys they traded for, weren't even starters or weren't even being that. Aside from the linebacker, one of the linebackers, it wasn't even that. They weren't that productive in the other teams where they were at. So I don't see that as an upgrade in any of the guys that we picked up. I didn't see an upgrade in any of those players.
I mean,
aside from the Solomon Thomas as a backup, so that might be the only one. But aside from that, like you said, we're hoping, we're predicting that these guys are going to hit on every pick. How many picks do you have to hit on this year in order for this team to be competitive? Because you're going to have to hit like on 4 or 5 guys.
One, you got to definitely get one. I mean, the first round pick. First round pick.
You better at least get the first round pick.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that you have to hit. And we've seen it before. 2021 is not that great of a draft, but Micah was great. Micah was great. They hit on that
on a good team, on a good defense. He became that flash in that defense.
But that wasn't a good team. I mean, that was a 6-10 football team, so that wasn't a good team before that. So what I'm saying is they got to hit one. But Ronnie, like we can just agree to disagree. I mean, like I think that they brought in more players than you think. I mean, like I think that's the narrative you want to say. Oh well, Kenneth Murray wasn't a good player. I mean, he was. I mean, he led 2 different teams in tackles, so he was productive. I'm not saying he's the best, but I mean he was productive. That's why they traded for him.
Yeah, the linebacker was productive.
Sanborn's productive.
What I'm saying, like
Sanborn was a productive, solid player for the Bears. Solid. And Eberflus knows him, knows how to use them and all that. But, I mean, you ask people, and I know people. We got people here in the building that follow the Bears, and they're like, good, solid player. Not great, but, Damone Clark, what's Damone Clark doing? I mean, you got to get better than that. I mean, Eric Kendricks was a good, solid player.
Where we've had a weakness in stopping the run for the last decade. Basically, and I just haven't seen any commitment to the number one priority, which should have been how do we stop the other team from running the ball down our throats? Because that's what happens every single game, every single year. Like that's what I'm kind of tired of seeing. I'm tired of seeing us getting beaten by just any team whenever they decide, you know what, let's just run the ball, and that's it. And you know what I'm saying? Like what, Massey? No, I have no hope on Massey. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about the guy. All I see from the guy, he's not productive on the field. So that's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna have to hit at least on 3. You're putting too much on the draft. You're putting too much on everybody on the draft personnel to like hit. You're gonna have to hit at least 3 starters from this draft in order to be competitive, and not only in our division, but look at our conference. Our conference is going to be really good. It's going to be hard to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So my thing is from here, it's maybe in 2 more years, if that's the route that we're going. When I say the route we're going by getting draft picks, but.
All right.
I'm just going to go with the flow.
All right. Sounds good, Ronnie. All right. I teachers are different. Professors are different. They grade differently. So, and sometimes they grade off of expectations as well. I mean, what you kind of expect to happen. And for me, a little bit pleasantly surprised with some of the moves they've made. Again, I don't think they're done. So we'll see what happens. Let's go one more caller before we have to end it here. Let's go to Rebecca in Minnesota. Rebecca, what's up?
Hi there.
How's it going?
Thanks for taking my call. Good. I have 2 thoughts. One is I kind of feel the general consensus is that they've done a little bit more than they have in the past in free agency, but they really haven't done a lot. And I agree with that. that being said, I don't really know what to take going forward. So I asked, going into next year, would you feel better about the offense being more shored up, quote unquote, or the defense being more shored up, quote unquote? And another thought in the back of my head is, I know this is a very popular opinion, but I would very much be on board with entertaining trading Micah. And I know it's probably not a possibility, but maybe could you entertain me and just say what would it take for a team or for us to maybe agree with a trade, and what could we potentially get for like picks and just for just it'd be kind of fun to think about what we could potentially all of a sudden get for the draft. How different and drastic that would just change the thinking the next month coming into the draft. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. See what you have to say, and have a good one. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Thank you. Offense or defense, which one is going to be shored up the most? That's a good one, because you've got some holes at defense with injuries. I mean, injuries there. When you think about what's going to happen with Diggs, Overshown, you're replacing DeMarcus Lawrence on another key piece in defensive line, and then when you look at offense, you still got to figure out the left tackle, and you're losing your starting running back. But I feel like offense is probably going to be have a chance to be shored up the most, just because I just look at the coaching staff, the resources there. The head coach is an offensive guy. You still have two of your top players are quarterback, receiver. I think the running back will be good. That position will be one way or another. I think they're going to run the ball better, which I think will make everyone better. So I think the offense, if I had to answer that question. And then about trading Micah, I don't think they're going to trade Micah, mainly because what they would ask for would probably be something that just teams wouldn't want to do. But I think for me, it would be 3 number ones. So that's where that would be tough to turn down, 3 number ones. 2 number ones, I don't know about that one unless one of them is up there really high. But the problem there is it's got to be very high, because you're going to need a pass rusher now. Now you have a huge need. So you're creating a need. So if it's 2 number ones, I mean, it's got to be the 2nd overall pick, so you can get another Penn State number 11 wearing pass rusher there in Abdul Carter. I mean, that's what you'd have to do. So at that point, you're just kind of hitting the reset button and moving forward, kind of starting over again there. And I get it, but I just don't think that's the route the Cowboys are going to go. I really don't. I think they're going to keep Micah. They're going to sign him. They're going to figure it out. But interesting. Oh, we got one more caller. Sorry, Troy in Amarillo. Didn't see it. Real quick, Troy, what's up, man?
That's okay. 2 real quick things, Nick. Man, I tell you, it's not a sneaky need. I think corner is a huge need. They're coming back. That's going to be a huge need. And I have reservations, man, about signing Micah. I really do, for a long-term contract. I think he's a great talent, but I think then, when he disappears in the second half, when he gets double teamed and stuff like that, he goes to pouting on the sidelines. I would have serious reservations, man, about signing him. I'd franchise him again, and see if you can't figure out a scheme or something to get him freed up, man. But 12 and a half sacks when he should have 24, probably 25. I don't know. I'd have reservations about that. That's all I got, Nick. Okay.
Appreciate that. I mean, I don't know about the should have 24, 25. I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, he's hurt. He was hurt a little bit last year and missed some games, came back, played well. At the end of the season, changed the defense. I mean, that right there to me is why I think he's so valuable, just because of what he was able to do. When he got back last year from injury, they led the whole NFL in sacks as a team. I mean, everybody was better. Everybody got more pressure just because of him. And he got sacks. The other guys got sacks. We're talking about Carl Lawson's and Chauncey Golston's and those guys. So I believe that, I'm sorry, I'm getting really distracted here. I'm seeing our man Isaiah Stanback just get like body slammed here for some wrestling moves on NFL Network. Hope he's okay. Hope we don't need to have a replacement there on Talking Cowboys. Looks like he's doing good. Check out Isaiah over there at Good Morning Football doing some stuff, some wrestling. I think he could be a wrestler for sure. Sorry, Troy, I didn't answer the question exactly, but corner, you're right, not a sneaky need. It's a need. It's a need because you don't know what Diggs is going to do. You still don't know exactly what DeRon Bland. I mean, he's kind of hard to evaluate. He gives up some plays. He makes some for you in record-setting fashion. They lost their slot corner in Jordan Lewis, so did make a trade with the guy from the Bills. But for the most part, though, still an issue that they need to fix at corner. Maybe that's the pick at 12. Maybe it's Barron from Texas. Be okay with that too. You know, I'd be all right. Would probably tell everyone what you're going to do moving on at some point with Diggs, and maybe he's not the long-term answer, but still, I mean, I would be okay with 12. You know, then I know we had a story about the Texas Pro Day. Tommy Yarsh went down there to Austin, wrote, and he'll have he had an article on there about some prospects there, and a lot of guys from Texas could be that pick there at number 12 overall. All right. Great show, guys. Appreciate it. Got 15 callers. Good stuff as always. We will be back next Wednesday to do it all over again. So for Chris Beam, Nick Eatman, see you next time on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,